What's up, everybody? My name is East Jazzman here, and I'm here to talk to you today about a certain topic known as the unanswered questions of Bleach as of today. Yeah, this is one of my very first vlog videos. So sorry if I seem a bit edgy. Just doing this as a practice run, and I hope it turns out okay. Let's get right to the unseen Bankais as of yet. I'm going to list all the people who should have a Bankai but haven't showed them yet. Aizen, Shinji, Ishin, Yoruichi. Remember, she was a captain and she did state to Ichigo that Kenpachi was the only captain ever to become one without attaining Bankai. So she qualifies, but I'll get to more to her later. Jushiro, Kurinji, Nimaya, Senjumaru, and Hikifune. 4 out of the 5 royal guards have not shown their Bankais. In fact, apart from Korinji and Ishibe, the other 3 haven't shown their Zanpatos. So, there's still them. In addition, I want to state the abilities of the Bankais we have seen but haven't seen yet. There's Rose, with his 3rd act ability, Ian Hilton 11. I hope that's how you pronounce it. Because you all remember in his battle with Mask, he was overpowering him with his Bankai with the 2 first acts, but Mask overcome it by punching his ears out and therefore cancelling his Bankai's abilities. But we still don't know what the 3rd act does. He cancelled it before we can see what it does, so there's that. And I know Rose has been confirmed dead by Isane due to Grammy's imagination power. But right now his body's under the care of Mayuri Kurisuchi, and that bastard can do almost anything when it comes to bringing back the dead or defying nature. So that's not going to be a big surprise if he brings him back. Hope he does, I'm sure he will. And also there's Captain Unohana as well. As you remember in her final chapter with her versus Kenpachi, she finally used it, but we don't know what it really does. I know that Captain Unohana was confirmed dead, she stated it, but we still don't know what her power Zanpakuto can actually do. Is it an effect that activates later on? Maybe it's concerned special powers, or I don't know really. It's a big enigma. Hope we get a clear explanation about it soon. The next question is something that maybe a lot of people have forgotten. Not too surprising, it was only mentioned once. But I'm sure you'll remember the battle between Ichigo versus Byakuya, where Ichigo used his Bankai for the very first time. And then Byakuya unleashed his true form of Zenbun Sakura Kagayoshi. He used his Senka ability. And he mentioned something very, very interesting. He said it's power he uses for opponents who are worth crushing with his own 2 hands. And Ichigo was the 2nd. So we still have no idea who the first opponent for Byakuya was that he had to use Senkai for. So don't. And in addition to Byakuya, we don't know how he met Isane. I mean, she had grew up in the Rukon district, a lower district as well. Byakuya, interesting how he actually met her. Interesting how he actually fell in love with her. Be nice to see how they met. The next question is personally one of my favourites. It's about the battle between Soifon and Yoruichi back in the Soul Society arc. How near the end Soifon was remembering her past between her and Yoruichi, how they formed a close bond. Yoruichi saw her as her apprentice and then had to leave because, well, we all know why she had to leave. She had to help Kisa and the Viders because they were unjustly going to be executed. And Soifon tearfully asked her, She asked her why she didn't take her with her. And to this day, we still don't know what she said to her, what made her forgive her. That's just been left unanswered. Personally, that's one of my favourite questions. I actually enjoyed that moment. Very tearful, bittersweet. So I just like to see more of Yoichi and Soifon in the future. Next is a question that has been on a lot of people's mind for a very long time. Yoichi's Zanpakuto. As I said before, she told Ichigo that Kenpachi was the only one to become a captain without having Bankai. And since she was a captain of Squad 2, that means she has one too. But here's the question. Where the hell's her Zanpakuto? Does she have like a dysfunctional relationship with her Zanpakuto spirit or something? Or maybe it's like a special case like with the Nanao's Issa family. How they could only have one special holy Zanpakuto. They couldn't have another. Since Shiorin's family is like a martial arts expert, is it like implanted in their bones, or do they have like a special way? Hard to say, but that should be cleared up. Maybe, I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that she can change into a gun at times. I'm not too sure, but pretty sure Yoichi has one. Maybe it's not, maybe on person, maybe on her skin or something. Maybe it's like a special case. Hopefully we find out soon. Next question is something that's been bothering me for a long time. It's about Tozin's friend, the one who died by her husband's hand over a petty little argument, and her death led to Tozin's path of vengeance. So here's something I've always wondered. Why would Kubo give this minor character a very, very big birthmark on her face? Because that just spells something out to me. I mean, if she didn't have a birthmark, she'd just be an ordinary girl who we could mistake for anyone, but that birthmark, to me, that shows identity. That shows if we ever saw her again in someone else's flashback, we would know who she was straight away. To me, I think he might have a few more plans and ideas for her. I mean, for a birthmark like that, you could tell who she was. No strings attached. Just simple as that. The next question is about Ginjo's past. While we all know that Ginjo is the first substitute Soul Reaper, we still don't know much about his history, other than the fact that he's the first substitute Soul Reaper, and he found Shukishima and raised him. But other than that, we don't know how he became the first substitute Soul Reaper, how he came in contact with Ugatake, how he went mad, and according to Soifon, he killed a lot of Soul Reapers. We don't know the full extent about that, and right now he's in the Soul Society under the residence of the Shiba clan, as we saw in chapter 518. So I'm sure he'll be back soon, and we get to learn more about it. I didn't mind the full big out, to be honest. Don't mind seeing him again. Next question. What happened to Kakaku Shiba's arm? As we all know, Kakaku Shiba is missing one of her arms, and after several hundreds of chapters after her first appearance, we still don't know. Probably need around 600 chapters? Still don't know. So I've been just wondering myself, what the hell happened to it? How did she lose her arm? What about her past as well? I mentioned in that dagger page one time that the Shiba family is related to the royal clan or something. I mean, the royal guard. So, still unsolved. Here is probably the most recent new question in Bleach as of possibly 8 or 9 chapters. What was Ryukin Ishida doing to his ex-wife's dead body. Because in chapter 559, we learned that he was doing an autopsy on his wife's dead body, and we saw Uryu begging Ryugen to stop, but he wouldn't. And while we all can tell that Ryugen is a pretty cold man, isn't it? He wouldn't do something like that for no good reason. I mean, obviously you could tell he loved and cared for his wife during their childhood, how they came to Misaki, how even though he married her, even though the strict traditions about pure blood quincies are supposed to marry pure blood quincies, obviously that didn't matter to him too much. And then we see him doing an autopsy on his wife's dead body, and I can tell that he might have had a very good reason to do that. But it got something to do with Ewok, I don't know, other ways. I can't see him doing it for no good reason. Even he's not that cool. These next few questions, I'll just make them very quick, don't need to go in them full detailed. What's the name of Iba Zanpakuto? We know. We've seen it Shikai release form, but we still don't know the name, come on. Next is Isane Zanpakuto. Itayomi, I think. What abilities can it do? We've never really seen it in action. We still don't know what it can do, what skills it has. And also that Aranka girl, Melanie. What is the name of her resurrection? Along with Peshin Gatambai, what is the name of their resurrections as well? Just little things, I'm not going to go into full details of them right now. There you go. Another quick question, not going to go into full detail. The whereabouts of two Arankas that are supposed to be alive. Gantenbein, one of the previous fathers, who was last seen getting healed by Unohana after his battle with Sado. And well, I doubt he's dead if he was shot by Unohana. His wounds weren't that serious. I'm pretty sure they said he was still alive. So, where the hell is he? And also Tessa, Noritora's lone fraction who get beat up a lot, but was still very loyal to him despite everything. Last time we saw him, he was on the ground crying, shedding a tear for his master's death. That was it. No indication he was dying. Maybe he's still alive. Maybe he's with the uncles because Hannibal's faction, I'm pretty sure they're alive. I'm pretty sure they were carrying other uncles. Maybe those guys are with them. They're with them now. But doesn't make sense for Kuma to just kill those characters or not be too clear enough. He seems like he's done something like that. I know he's done something like that before, but that just to me doesn't seem like Tessa's dead. It just doesn't. I mean, Green Jack survived. Once he got slashed multiple times. Tessa was still alive when Kampachi slashed him, so who knows? Next question. Of all the dead Stone Raiders right now, two whose powers we don't know, BG9's K and Robert's N. What could they stand for? Because we all remember BG9 when he was brought to be executed by Hashro because he failed to win his battle. Although we didn't see him getting cut, but it was implied. Last time we saw him, he was just looking at Kandu, just saying, "I will not be killed by anyone but Ewok." And that was it. Maybe he might come back as BG10, but I might get that to another day. Robert, on the other hand, was struck by Ewok's Ashwalling, sucking him of his power and his flesh as well. Ouch, brutal. And we still don't know what that K and N stand for. could mean for something else, but we just don't know. Hey there, you're wondering why I'm wearing different clothes? Well, the reason why is because of two things. One, the remaining footage for my last few questions for my first shooting, they didn't come out too right, didn't sound clearly enough, and I could have done a lot better with them, say a lot more. And I forgot to add some more details, some more questions I forgot to put in, and some other things that came up to me. So, yeah, like I said, this is one of my very first vlog videos. I'll do a better one next time. Okay, let's start off with the things I forgot. Another unseen Bankai, loves, and also there are a few speculations of people who might have Bankai, like Hisagi. As we all remember, Kensei was training him to use a Bankai. And also well, I do remember in Final Arc Spoilers about a few years ago that Kubo was thinking of giving Bankais a couple of other characters, like maybe Yumachika and also maybe Zero. He mentioned about something like his Bankai being a bit too grotesque. Can't be that grotesque if you've seen Mayuri's Bankai, of course. And also, Shikais are people we haven't seen yet, such as Hachi, Mashiro, and also the Shikais of the 2/3 seats from Squad 13, Isane's sister, and the other guy whose name I forgot. But yeah. And in addition, a letter from Unohana to Isane when she left. Obviously, it was a goodbye letter, but it would be nice to know what exact details were in it. And also, Kukaku's unnamed uncle she was talking about before in 518. How she mentioned her uncle will be sad. Well, I'm pretty sure we can guess who it is, but it hasn't been really confirmed yet, so yeah, that counts as an unanswered question. And what exactly is Yachiru? Is she a Shinigami? Is she Kenpachi Zanpato spirit? Most likely for that one, but it hasn't been answered yet. And I'm wondering if she is part of his Zanpato, how can she manifest her form and how can other people see it? Is that related to her Zanpato's powers? Well, yeah, there's that. And also Soken Ishida and the Wonder Egg. We all remember that Soken Ishida was Uryu's grandfather, but we don't, and it has been mentioned before that he has made some contacts with the Wonder Egg. Like Quidditch mentioned, he rejected the Quidditch Voshti because he was more traditional, and there's also his whereabouts from the Masaki incident. They mentioned he was off somewhere, and we don't know. So there's still that. There's also the Squad Zero cardinal point system. Like when Korinchi confronted Ewok in 588, he mentioned he was the Divine General of the East. And but we don't know who's the Divine General of the West, North, South. And maybe the center that counts as a cardinal point. Possibly that would be each race's commander. But we still don't know. And also, we all know the Squad Zero members are promoted because they created something. Like Korinchi created the Healing Springs, Hikifune created the Artificial Souls, Nimaya created the Zanpatos, and Ichibe, well, he created the names for everything in the Soul Society. But what did Senjima created? Okay, we can all guess it's probably related to clothing, of course, like Shigakos, but it hasn't really been officially confirmed yet. It's obvious, but hasn't been confirmed. Like to make that clear, even though some things might be obvious, they haven't yet been confirmed, so they still count as unanswered questions. So there's still that, and yeah, that's that. Okay, my last two unanswered questions, and my biggest ones yet. Here we go. The past of Sosuke Aizen. Think back. He was the main villain for Bleach in the first half before Ewok came along, and Aizen himself is a major troll master. He was behind a lot of things at the start, and personally I find it epic. I'm always a fan of epic villains, and but here's one thing we don't know. It's about his past. Well, as far as his past goes, we know that he was Lieutenant of Squad 5. But even then, he was already planning his plan. And where did it lead from there? We have no idea what happened before that. What set his plans in motion. And we know how he came in contact with Kim, but we don't know how he came in contact with Tozen. And, well, I imagine there's a deep reason for his maniacal path, so to speak. Like what set him on his path to power. Like his main objective was to kill the Soul King. But from his conversation with Kisuke, he addressed the Soul King as a thing. That just seems to me like he's met him before at some point. Or knows, but Aizen, to construct a master plan like this from the start, I doubt it was out of a whim. Maybe it was for a deep reason, perhaps. Like maybe he was upset, maybe he lost someone special to him. Who knows? But sure, he might have done those things out of whims within his plan. But I doubt he started his plan out of a whim. Maybe there was a deep reason. Point is, Ichigo did mention how he wanted to be treated as a normal Soul Reaper, or wanted to be a normal Soul Reaper. He wasn't deep down overly too thrilled about his powers and how he was stronger than most people, how he wanted equals or be equals to everyone. And that just said something to me, like, I was just wondering about his past, like, how did he turn into this? Because with Aizen, I thought he was pure evil at the start. Because, well, we just don't know much about his past before what set him on his goals of darkness. That's it. And now, for the last question. The big one. The past of the Soul King. What do we know about him? Well, apart from he's a foundation stone of all worlds are connected. He's making sure they run smoothly. They don't come in contact with one another. But and also he's Ewok's dad, and he can see into the future. But other than that, what else? We know nothing about him. Like, how did he become a Soul King in the first place? And there's just been a bit. There've been a lot of questions lately. Like, how exactly did he give birth? Did he give birth to Ewok? Because I don't think Ewok's birth was done the natural way, of course. There's a lot of speculations, but his past is a bit messy. And also there's something like this. How did he separate limbs of his body, like his two arms, his heart, and here's another two theories that I want to get out. Does he really love the Soul Society as much? Because Hushwolf mentioned to Ewok's elite guards when those little black things came out of Ewok when he was absorbing his dad, that they are no harm to the Quincy's, for their enemies are the Soul Reapers, and he mentioned he was sealed away. That's odd to me. How did that happen in the first place? Why did it happen? How they was Quincy's created to destroy the Soul King because deep down the Soul King wanted the Quincy to destroy him? Who knows? And also another thing that is regarding to the Soul Kings right now, Mimi Hagi, I think. When he came out of Ukitake to stop the end of the world, Ewok was completely shot for the first time in the series. Like, he lost his cool composure. He was completely overwhelmed by it. And he asked him, "Are you doing this out of the goodness of your heart? Have you grown attached to the Soul Reapers who you protected all this time?" Well, clearly the limbs have minds of their own, or the ones that are not really under Ewok, perhaps. But that shows there is a deep, dark-rooted secret within the Soul Society's history compared to this with them and the Soul King, and that's been left unanswered. So, yeah, that's it. Hope you liked the vlog. Hope these questions make sense, and keep in mind the series is not over yet. I don't know how long it's gonna be. Who knows? But let's hope a lot of these questions are answered. If we're lucky, all of them, especially my top ones, especially ones we want answered the most. And subscribe if you like. Plan to make a few other Bleach vlog videos. If this one turns out very well, I'll make a new one and I'll make it better. No mistakes this time. And also, I like to send a link to my Deviant channel, to my Deviant page, because I have two little theories that should be interesting for you to see. One's called The Undead Army. The second one is it's about the second group, all related to the final arc and maybe stuff we'll see in the future, or hopefully at least. But anyway, I'm East Jasmine. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a nice day. Later.